Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. 888-713-2929 is the telephone number. Pick up the phone and give us a call. We talk mortgages. We talk mortgages all day and all night. I don't do anything but eat mortgages for you. If you need information given to you about a refinance, maybe the rates aren't what you thought they were, but maybe looking into a different kind of product, or maybe you're one of these borrowers who has a unique situation. Everybody calls it unique rather than bizarre. Either one works for me, as long as we can get you qualified with a qualified mortgage. There are non-qualified mortgages out there, but we try to get you a qualified mortgage, better rates, right? It's all about the rates, and with rates going up, as everybody realizes now, it's not all about the Fed all the time. It can be about the world, the economy, and other things going on. If you want to reach us by email, info@malibufunding.net. I have a YouTube account. If you go to YouTube, type in Financing Mortgage, one word. That's my YouTube channel, and you see this show as well as our Las Vegas real estate show, which airs in Las Vegas every Sunday at 4:30 on channel 18.8. But it is on YouTube as well. We talk a lot of things about Vegas, a lot of things about the Inland Empire. Hi, everybody at KCAA, KMET. But right now with us, and I really appreciate Tomas coming back to the show from Lone Stream, Tomas Trujillo. Tomas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jeff. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, and thank you for being on. You know, you heard a little bit about what we're trying to do here, explaining something about mortgages. Lone Stream has unique and terrific products. I wanted to bring you back. We're in a fall here that we seem to have rising interest rates and a little bit of an unsure world. What are some of the cool things that you're doing over there to try to help these type of borrowers?
Well, rates are getting a little crazy, but it doesn't really bother us because we're trying to help people who don't really go after that bank loan or who need that type of loan. We try and help the guy who needs something else. Actually, for your company, Jeff, we're doing a couple loans out in Vegas.
Okay, very good. And
Absolutely.
What kind of loans are they? Are they equity-driven loans? Are they non-QM type of a product? What is it?
We're doing a little of both. I have a non-QM condo, unwarrantable, that we're doing up there.
Wow.
And then I have another one that I'm doing up there that is not a CalHFA, but the Nevada equivalent to a CalHFA loan.
That's a good point you just said. I've had a couple of people ask me about it. The CalHFA program in and of itself is terrific, but it's only in California. Explain what the CalHFA is and then what the Nevada equivalent might be.
Oh, I love the CalHFA loan. CalHFA means if you don't have enough money to put it down, a down payment, if you don't have enough money to have your closing costs taken care of, well, that's fine because the state will give you the money. In California, they will give you 3.5% down, and they will give you up to 4% down for closing costs. So you come out with no money. If you put down a $2,000 down payment, that money comes right back to you.
Well, how does that work? I mean, so you're entering a property with no money into the deal? What is the guarantee for the lender?
Well, you know what? They'll look at you. It's an FHA based.
It's an insured product. I see what you're saying. Okay, of course.
So, I mean, it's just a great balance. You gotta have the right FICO. You got to be at least a 645 FICO. Your debt ratio has to be in line. You can't be above a 45% back end.
Okay.
But for the guy who he's getting ready to buy his home, and all of a sudden his car blew out on him. He needs a new refrigerator. He says, you know what? This house, I would love to paint it. I'd like to get new furniture, but I don't have the money because I need it for closing costs. Well, guess what? We got you covered. We got you covered all day long.
Okay.
CalHFA.
What is the CalHFA equivalent out in Nevada? What do they call that out there?
That one is the Nevada Assistance Program.
Okay, so it's just down payment assistance in Nevada, right?
Yes, sir.
State program?
All you do is Google it. Yes.
Okay, very good. And so what do you do to qualify for that program?
You take a class. You take an online class. I believe it's about 8 hours. They give you a certificate, and we are good to go.
Wow, and that qualifies you for whatever their Nevada down payment assistance program is? How much is it out there?
I believe it's up to $650.
Up to $650,000. Now, is this a primary residence, or do you have to live in Nevada? Is that the qualification too? You have to be a resident there? Or?
Primary residence, yes.
Okay, so anybody here in California who's listening to the show who's thinking, hey, you know what, I have relatives out there, I've got friends moving out there, I'm moving out there. I have a friend of mine, I'm selling his house in Woodland Hills, California, and they are moving to Nevada, so they're going to need a loan, and they're going to have a nice chunk of change, so they don't need the HAFA program, or they don't need the Nevada Down Payment Assistance Program, but it's for those type of people, right, that are moving there or going to have relatives there. Somebody who's a resident out there can take advantage of something like this program.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have people who are retiring, who are on limited income, and now they want to go out there because it's a little warmer, it's easier on their bodies. Perfect for them.
Speaking about warmer, oh my gosh, what does the heat do to the real estate market? Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's just exploding. It's just getting better and better, and I don't see it slowing down anytime.
Well, that's a good point. What is the volume that you guys do in terms of how you've done historically? Is it more today? Is it less today? Is it because you're inventing new programs that it kind of changes all the time? The only reason I'm asking is because we try to get a handle for the people in the marketplace to understand, what their options are and if there's money available for obviously people like them. So loan volume, and if it's up or down for you, would help indicate that.
Well, for us, like we try and swim in a different pool. We're not trying to compete with the real big boys, the Wells Fargos out of the world. We try and help the other guy, the guy who doesn't really have that FICO, the guy who wants to get that condo, but half of the condo is owned by investors. The non-warrantable stuff. The guy who doesn't
explain non-warrantable for our audience. I know you and I as veterans in the industry know what it is, but what is a non-warrantable condo? I'm Sally Jones, and I'm out there and I'm looking for a condo. I found one, and somebody comes up to me and says, you know what, I can get you that loan, but find out if it's non-warrantable. And you're like, what the heck is that? What is that?
So typically, you'd have to have the ratio of owner to non-owner would have to be in favor of the owner. You have to be at least 51% owner-occupied.
I see.
A non-warrantable condo would be the other way around. Or if you don't have enough money in your reserve, if the condo, the association, doesn't have enough money in their reserves, that would also make it a non-warrantable condo.
Oh, so this helps actually the people who have to get into a unit or have to get into, not have to, but want to get into a unit or a condo, but there are some issues with the homeowners association or the way the bank traditionally would look at condos in terms of the owner versus non-owner occupied.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so in that, how do you guys look at it and how do you get around it? You have investors that buy those type of loans?
We went back to our old pond, and we have our own hedge fund, so we fund them all ourselves. We're old subprime people,
right,
who brought back the right programs to help the right people. We're not just we're not giving money away. We are trying to help the right person who would qualify for the right loan.
What do they?
Our bank statement loans.
Tomas, what do they call subprime now? Don't they have another word for it?
Like a non-qualifying.
Right, non-qualifying mortgage, non-QM.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. And really, those products were actually terrific. What happened is that the money got really cheap, and people were flipping houses because property values were going up through inflated appraisals, and the Fed was making money really, really cheap. So people could flip houses within 6 months and make 10, 15% a house. So why use your own money if you can borrow it cheap?
Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's happening right now. I think the housing market is tight, and I think the building market is tight, and thus the only thing that I see possibly overheated is the stock market. And I don't know, when you're looking at assets and people shows you a big stock portfolio, what's the matrix to the lender for loan stream? Do they just look at what it is, or do they have some, like you would do with a renter? Do you only take 75% of the worth of it? How do you guys value that, especially in an overheated market?
Well, I kind of leave that up to the guys who are a little smarter than I am.
Come on, Tomas, you are a bright guy. I know what you're saying. Obviously, the underwriter's got to do their job, and the guidelines of whoever's buying the loan has to do their job. And for us to submit loans based on the guidelines are the guidelines today. But that's always something that has bothered me when we're in an overheated stock market. I mean, I've heard predictions of dire constraints, a lot of people going to cash right now. And, of course, these are people who are doomed naysayers anyway, and I don't know what the chances of the market crashing. And I'm just always curious as to how lenders look at this and how they underwrite files in regards to assets being in the market.
Well, on that issue, we try and say when we do a non-QM loan, we'll go on based on the borrower's ability to repay. We want to see how strong he is. If he had an issue, what was the issue? We try not to stay too much with what's going on with everyone else. We try and stay in our own lane.
Okay.
For our FHA stuff, it's insured. We have DUs. We have LPs. If we're good there, we're good, period.
Okay, excellent. So do you work mainly from, I guess, equity in the property? Is that where you, or are these loans something where you're able to lend up to 80, 90%?
On the non-QM, we can go up to 90% on certain FICOs,
Okay.
on certain properties. If you're doing a bank statement loan and you have a decent FICO, you can go up to 90%.
Wow, and that bank statement is 12 months, 24 months? What is it?
That one would be a 24-month bank statement, but we can also do business bank statements. We can do personal bank statements. We can do a DBA bank statement. So we're out there. We're looking to help somebody who has the right scenario.
If you have cash deposits, let's say you're a business that is, you're working the weekends and you've got like a food cart or something, and most of your money is in cash, and you're depositing it on a weekly basis. How long do you need to season that money or keep it in your bank account before you can use it as income?
Oh, you can use it right away. If we are going bank statement, it's your income right there.
Okay.
We're fine with it. As long as it all makes sense, we're good.
Hey, Tomas, thank you very much for coming on the show. You talked a lot about great programs. What's your telephone number in case somebody wants to get a hold of you?
My number is 323-228-5181.
Thank you very much. That's Thomas Trujillo from Lone Stream, and I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. We'll be right back.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising. And according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with SuperGrow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your SuperGrow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Your nose just a little bit, I need the sun off, there you go. When we do our workshops, we choose top locations like Red Rock Canyon for fashion, or we choose Cancun beaches for the glamour photography. There you go, good, good, good. We set up all the models. We have sponsors like Canon that bring out lenses and camera equipment, bodies that you can work with. We teach you how to use those. We teach you how to work with your equipment that you bring out. ISO 400, I'm shooting 1,000 shutter. I'm wide open at 2.8. Some of you are gonna be at 3.5. So whether you're a beginner or intermediate and you want to advance to the next level, or even if you're advanced now and you just want to learn more process, more value, learn your equipment a little bit better, take better pictures, check out one of our workshops. You can check out JeromeHamilton.com. We have a workshops page that'll get you there. We bring the top of the line models to all of our events, and we take you to the best places.
Is your car starting to give you some trouble? Then come on down to Gyra Tire Shop and Service, where we offer a wide range of services such as new and used tires, balance and repair, brakes, AC repair, professional auto diagnostics. We promise you high-quality service at an affordable price. We're located on the corner of Boulder Highway and Wells Street. Do yourself and your car a favor. come down to Gyra Tire Shop and Service.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. 888-713-2929 is the telephone number. Pick up the phone and give us a call. You can email us as well, info@malibufunding.net. We also have a Twitter account at Jeff6493. And, of course, if you want to see us on Facebook, go to Facebook, type in Home Loans, Malibu Funding, Inc. And we have our homepage. It'll pop right up there, show you some of the latest and greatest. Certainly there you can find terrific loan officers on our loan officer page and programs and everything else that we have here at Malibu to be able to help you. The show is not a commercial for Malibu. We try to bring experts from all different fields to you to be able to give you information that you're going to need when you get a mortgage. Let's face it, most people out there, even most people in the industry, only know a small portion, if anything at all, about mortgages. So what we try to do is bring experts in real estate, mortgages. We bring loan company representatives. We bring presidents of banks. We bring brokers. We bring agents from all over the country. We're in 10 different states, and we try to bring a perspective both nationally and locally. We are in the Inland Empire. Our radio signal is on 4 different stations out there. I want to thank KCAA, KMET, the Roadrunner, and certainly everybody else who is aiding those particular people to put our show on the air. We have about 10 to 12,000 downloads a year just on one particular channel. So we are being listened to. There are people out there who need the information, and thanks for listening. With me now is Fabian Salazar, a terrific loan officer and broker here in Southern California. I've worked with him extensively over a number of years and really appreciate him on the show. Fabian, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you very much for coming on the show. I asked Fabian to come on the show because he's wired into a lot of what's going on in the marketplace. I wanted to ask him something about what is going on in the real estate market where you are, and I take it you too are in the Inland Empire. And how's the real estate market out there right now?
The real estate market right now is actually booming. Mm-hmm. Normally, during the holiday seasons, it tends to slow down, but actually, for the first time in a long time, this is actually different. Projections, according to the National Association of Realtors, is that home values are actually going up 6% this coming year. So a lot of people are now jumping on board to actually buy properties before they actually start going up.
Have you seen there that we're finally out from all the properties that were underwater? Do you see pockets anywhere of people that are still in trouble?
I do, because a lot of those loans are starting to readjust and recast. So there is some little pockets here and there. The Inland Empire is still trying to come out of the housing bubble.
Right.
But for the most part, it's starting to, looking really, really well for the Inland Empire and for homeowners.
Okay. Now, when you say some of the things that you said in your last statement, I just want you to explain to the audience what exactly you mean when you say, okay, we have a little pockets of resistance. We have a little pockets of, I guess, properties underwater. What do you mean by that when you say underwater? And you and I are both in the industry, so we know. So try to explain to people out there what that means. I think a lot of people do know, but some people don't know and don't understand that, even though you might be doing well, others are not. And there are still some opportunities in the real estate world as a result of that.
Okay, what ended up happening is after the financial meltdown, a lot of people who were underwater basically wound up having loan modifications on all their property.
Right.
Because of that, the banks in these modifications would give people really, really, really low interest rates, 1%, 2%. But that was only for a limited amount of time, for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, however long the agreement was. Because of all the time that has passed by, a lot of those loans are now due, and they're starting to recast, or mean that they're starting to come up to realistic interest rates.
Right.
A lot of people, for some reason, didn't take advantage of the low interest rates. Although they're still low, they're starting to go up a little, but they didn't take advantage of it at that time. So what's starting to happen is these interest rates are going up, and it's going to impact the people very severely because they got used to the 2%, 1% interest rate. So now when their term is over and now they have to recast or the new interest rates, most people still cannot afford those properties. So for the savvy buyer, it's a great opportunity to come in and still take some of these properties over.
Right.
But what I would do if I was a homeowner, I would immediately start looking into refinancing options so that you're out of that existing loan modification agreement and get into something that's more beneficial to you and not the bank.
Now, short-term ARMs, what do you think of those products? I know their interest rates are traditionally a lot lower. Let's say that you're in a situation where you got to get out, you need a 3 to 5 year bridge to, where the property will then have equity in it, and then you can possibly refi it at that time. What do you think about the ARMs right now?
ARMs are phenomenal because of the rate being so low.
Right.
It allows people to buy a lot for very little. Most people only tend to really stay in their homes 5 years, 6 years max,
Yep.
and then they start into something else. So it doesn't make sense to get a 30-year loan, pay high interest rates on that money when you can take a 5-year ARM, get really low interest rate, and save the money. And when you are ready to move into your permanent home, you benefit from that.
What kind of volume are you doing down at your shop?
Right now, we are going crazy. We are doing a lot of refinances and a lot of purchases. What is really, really, really interesting is that the commercial market is starting to really get very, very attractive for a lot of buyers who have Lexus, liquid, and they want to start doing it.
Now, what kind of commercial is that? Let me break in there, because the commercial interests a lot of people. Why? Because they look at rentals that they can get. Now, are you talking office buildings, or are you talking units in a building?
I'm talking everything, but in particular, I'm referring more towards units.
Okay.
Because there is a very, very, very low housing available right now.
Right.
A lot of people are now taking advantage of that and acquiring these properties because rents are going up and there's not enough housing out there. So if you are a commercial property owner, you stand to benefit from the increase in their rents.
Do you see the cities where you are out in the Inland Empire, do you see them ever coming to terms with the fact that housing supply is so little? Maybe they should loosen restrictions on people building second units or apartments in their existing units, in their existing homes, to be able to rent out and ease the housing crisis that there is?
Well, what's happening right now is, and the Inland Empire is going to face a very, very interesting problem in that a lot of the properties, a lot of the empty land is now being converted into warehouses.
I see.
What that means is that a lot of people are now starting to go into the Inland Empire and find jobs. People do not want to do the long commute from, let's say, the Inland Empire to Los Angeles anymore. So now people are starting to move more and more into the Inland Empire. Problem is, there's not a lot of housing out there.
Right.
So people are basically starting to build and build and build. But it's going to start encroaching in other aspects. But the majority of the warehouses, that's the issue right now that the Inland Empire is facing. Either do we build houses or do we build more manufacturing, more warehouses? And that's something that the Inland Empire really needs to look into and somehow figure that out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Long-term planning in any city is always done by usually people who have no knowledge in that particular business. They're just trying to figure it out in 4 and 8 year terms, and then they leave and the next person comes in and tries to figure it out, as opposed to looking at the long-term solution as the existing properties, their ability to be able to rent on their own property, loosening some of the restrictions of building extra units on your property. You could actually solve the housing housing problem in a lot of these areas without having to encroach either on what new businesses are going to bring in the Inland Empire with warehousing, or having to force people to buy new homes that they really can't probably afford.
I agree with you, and the problem is that a lot of the municipalities are so far behind
Yep.
and so underfunded, and especially after the San Bernardino bankruptcy,
Yep.
that they don't have the resources to adequately meet the demand that's coming their way. So they're playing catch-up, but the problem is that they're many years behind where they actually need to be. And instead of being in the forefront of it, they're too busy just trying to stay alive with what they have and with the staff that they have. And there causes a lot of frustration with builders who are taking a long time. They're taking a long time to get building permits, and it's just frustrating. So the builders don't want to waste their time, and so they go build elsewhere.
Now, you have offices both, down in Orange County. Is that right? Eastern or Eastern Orange County?
In Los Angeles, the South Bay.
Oh, I see. Very good. And could you shout out your phone number for people who are listening? Because I know you do business all over Southern California as well as a couple other states.
Yes, I do. My telephone number is area code 213-215-5445. Again, that's 213-215-5445.
Now, that 213, that's an old L.A. number. A lot of people who are listening go, 213? Boy, that sounds really hoity-toity. But really, that
shows consistency. That's a number I've had for over 20 years.
Yeah, it does. And Fabian has been a terrific lender and in the industry for at least that amount of time. And he's a family guy. He understands problems of both, young families and retirees, as well as those people who want to step up or step down from their current property. In closing, in the next couple of minutes, what we've got here in Southern California is a heat wave that it just won't quit. And when we get like this, how does it affect your business? How does it affect the mortgage? How does it affect people viewing properties? The reason I ask that is because weather becomes such an issue, whether it's floods, earthquakes, or any number of other things, fires up in Northern California. How is this heat wave affecting us right now?
Well, the houses with homes don't last at all.
Right.
I mean, with pools. The houses with pools are immediately gone.
Right.
But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that in buying a home with a pool, there's a tremendous upkeep and an expense with it.
Yeah, and there's a liability too. Right.
There's all the liability. So I tell people, just if it's right for you, buy what's right for you at the time. Don't go by the weather. Don't go by what's happening. If it's right for you, buy the property. If it's not, if it feels something funny, then just walk away. And that's the thing about being able to buy a house. It's the largest investment you're going to make. Don't fall in love with something that you cannot walk away from. Make an intelligent decision. And unfortunately, what happened in the housing bubble, a lot of people bought with emotion and not with logic. What we try to do is to help people to understand the importance of what they're purchasing, and not just solely in emotion.
Thank you very much. Hey, Fabian, thanks for coming on the show. Once again, I really appreciate it. It's been Fabian Salazar, terrific broker here in Southern California. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. We'll be right back.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising. And according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with SuperGrow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your SuperGrow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Is your car starting to give you some trouble? Then come on down to Gyra Tire Shop and Service, where we offer a wide range of services such as new and used tires, balance and repair, brakes, AC repair, professional auto diagnostics. We promise you high-quality service at an affordable price. We're located on the corner of Boulder Highway and Wells Street. Do yourself and your car a favor. Come down to Gyra Tire Shop and Service.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Your nose just a little bit. I need the sun off. There you go. When we do our workshops, we choose top locations like Red Rock Canyon for fashion, or we choose Cancun beaches for the glamour photography. There you go, good, good, good. We set up all the models. We have sponsors like Canon that bring out lenses and camera equipment, bodies that you can work with. We teach you how to use those. We teach you how to work with your equipment that you bring out. ISO 400, I'm shooting 1,000 shutter. I'm wide open at 2.8. Some of you are gonna be at 3.5. So whether you're a beginner or intermediate and you want to advance to the next level, or even if you're advanced now and you just want to learn more process, more value, learn your equipment a little bit better, take better pictures, check out one of our workshops. You can check out JeromeHamilton.com. We have a workshops page that'll get you there. We bring the top of the line models to all of our events, and we take you to the best places.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. 888-713-2929 is our telephone number. If you pick up the phone right now, give us a call. We can answer questions to you about your mortgage, whether you want to do a refinance, maybe you want to do a purchase. Purchase market is really hopping right now. Their properties really... if they're priced properly, they're going to sell really quickly. If they're not, they're not. I'm sitting on a property myself. It's been on the market 90 days. I'm trying to negotiate. And by the way, listing timelines are negotiable. It's not necessarily 180 days. If you're a seller right now and you're not quite sure whether you want to commit to 90 days, make sure that you, 90 days, 180 days, make sure that you propose that to your agent and say, hey, look, you know what, the market's really good. I think my property should sell quickly. Can I just commit to you for this amount of time, for this amount of money? Commissions are negotiable too. And most agents out there will say, absolutely, give me 90 days at least to sell your property if it's priced correctly. In my particular case, it was not priced correctly because the owner told me they were willing to wait. Of course, that was a mistake because now they're blaming me, as they always do, as you well should. If your property doesn't sell, it must be the agent. Has nothing to do with the property or the price. It's certainly the agent. And if you have an agent like that, I certainly can be the next agent that you fire. So give me a call, 888-713-2929. If you have an agent question, an agent problem, if you need to renegotiate what you want to do with your agent in order to sell your property. So in my particular case, we're renegotiating, and yes, he's going to re-sign up for another 90 days and hopefully getting the price. But the prices here in Southern California are astronomical. Out in the Inland Empire, prices that you, let's say 10 years ago, you go out there and get a property for $200,000, no problem during the, the bust days. But now, $400,000 or $500,000 is the starting point. If you want to get a condo, it's $150,000, $250,000 as a, maybe $300,000, sure. Yeah, the market's good. I think what's happening all over right now is that a lot of people who are in are happy they're in. A lot of people who want to get in have to rent. I've mentioned some solutions that I think would work here in Southern California, certainly in the Inland Empire for the crunch on housing. See, when you've got this kind of demand and you've got interest rates still at historic lows, they're around 4% right now, 30-year fixed. If you've got that combination, you're going to find that most people are going to want to buy. Why? Because money is so cheap. But because of the demand on housing, housing prices have really 6% a year. That's what one of my last guests, Fabian Salazar, said. If you're raising 6% a year, and that has really been the norm for the past, let's say 4 years. So you're looking at, in 7 years, doubling the price of the property. Now that, 10 years rather. So that's really unsustainable growth. What we need to do is either expand the supply or lessen the demand. And the only way to expand the supply is by getting the quickest, fastest, easiest way to more housing in an area. And if I owned a house in the Inland Empire, let's say I'm out in Rancho right now, let's say I'm in Hesperio, or let's say I'm in any number of terrific cities out there, Riverside, San Bernardino, and I've got a house and it's got a possibility that I could add a one-bedroom unit off the the back porch with a bathroom for, $40,000, $50,000 and could get myself probably, $1,500 a month for that unit. Well, that's going to mean that I get $1,500 a month as income in the door. This person gets a great, clean, safe place to live, and the housing crisis gets averted if we have 100,000 people doing that. And that's what was really needed, because then you'd lessen the demand on housing, i.e. slow down the demand on purchases, and the prices would drop. And that's really what we need to have, is prices to be reasonable for first-time people, millennials, people who want to get a home, who are moving here to Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Riverside counties, even Orange County, where the median price, get this, $700,000. Median price of home down there in Orange County. That's some big dollar figure. So if you're just getting out of college and you're supporting yourself some $250,000 to $300,000 in debt, yeah, sure, you're going to be making pretty good money. But at the same time, you live in or work down in Anaheim, or you work in some of the areas down there where, the prices are really good, but the pay for your job is really good. How are you going to afford it? You're not going to afford it. So what happens? You move home, or you find some cheap unit in some other city, which your commute is awful, and either down the 405 or the 55 or any number of those highways, the 91 a little further north. And let's talk about the traffic here for a second. I think what we've got here in Southern California is a pretty good highway system at off-peak hours. If you're anywhere within my listening voice and you're traveling to work from 6:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning, you know darn well what I'm saying. There's too much traffic. So one of my last guests was saying that a lot of people in the Inland Empire are sick of that commute to Los Angeles and would love to find work and housing in the IE. And how's that happening? Well, he said it was the warehouse business. A lot of vacant land is being purchased and bought up for warehouses. Why is that? Because most of the corridor on the 10, which is a direct route into Los Angeles, is used by trucks. I mean, if you could, even the 15, you get on the 15 to the 215, or you head into Los Angeles from the 10, there are so many, at certain times of the day, there's nothing but trucks. So in order to make the drop-off for goods easier, they find warehouse space out in San Bernardino Riverside along the 15 or the 215, and then the trucks come out there, they pick up the goods, and they move in. So if you're finding people doing a reverse and coming back to San Bernardino Riverside in order to be able to live, in order to be able to work, that would really, relieve some of the congestion on the highways. I mean, there's a lot of ways to plan without having planners involved, if you understand my meaning. The legislative process, which is slow and always pushing people to get out of their cars, should understand that the cars in Southern California are a way of life. What are you going to do? If I've got to travel 30 miles a day, which I do every day to go to work, how am I going to do that on public transportation in an area that comes from one side of the hill to the other side of the hill through nothing but winding roads? It's just not going to happen unless you're willing to wait 2 hours in traffic every day for a bus or some other kind of public transportation. Okay, let's get to a couple things in the news to use section. I just wanted to talk a little about a couple things that came up in the news, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous, but I thought I'd bring it to you anyway. Senate voted last Wednesday night to strike a federal rule that would have allowed consumers affected by the Equifax hack to sue the company. Okay, so Congress has said you can't sue Equifax. So you're out there right now and you had your data stolen, and 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, you find that there's a family living in some other area that has been using your credit card to get a mortgage, and now that mortgage is on your credit report. What are you going to do about it? Well, you can't sue Equifax, so what are you supposed to do? That's one of the things that I think they're doing incorrectly in the federal government when it comes to protecting you for something you had nothing to do with. And there was one other one here. Let's see, what is this? This one. U.S. Senator John Kennedy. Funny name, right? Anybody remember John Kennedy? U.S. Senator John Kennedy. And by the way, Daryl, I wanted to ask you about that. They're about
JFK. They're going to declassify a lot of the documents.
Absolutely. When is it going to be a drum roll, and then Geraldo's going to be there?
I think that first of all, a lot of the documents had already been released, but they had been. I don't remember the official term for it, but they had been. A lot of things had been marked out or crossed out.
You mean redacted? Yeah, that's the term. Yes, I think that's right. I don't think we're going to see a smoking gun, but
no, I don't think so. But they're literally hundreds of thousands of documents to read through, and I don't think we're going to find anything that hadn't been hypothesized before or sensationalized in some film.
Yes, exactly. I saw JFK. All of that was a bunch of lies, but I liked the movie.
I read Jim Garrison's book,
Okay.
which was a pretty good book, and there were a lot of interesting theories in there, but whether it's true or not, I don't know, because they tried to tie Oswald in with Cuba, obviously, and
sure.
A lot of conspiracy theories, but, and the fact that LBJ knew ahead of time that he was going to be taking the reins, and I don't think so.
I don't know any of that. There's so many conspiracy theories out there. I do think it's interesting that Donald Trump, the president, is the one who's going to release these. It seems a bit of an obfuscation, a little of a bob and weave.
Well, it was scheduled to happen anyway.
75 years, that's what I heard.
Yeah, he was the one that could actually block it and have it continue to be a mystery, or he could just let it be released.
I see.
Yeah, he's just going with the flow.
So this U.S. John Kennedy of Louisiana, freshman Republican, voted with the Democrats to keep Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, and I'm no fan of them, okay, other than to a very lesser extent than they are. However, what they were trying to do was the Senate passed a bill that said that you could not sue. Here it is. Let me read it here. Will further loosen regulation of Wall Street. This is what the publicity said about the law. The states under Senator Cassidy kept with the GOP, which prevailed 51-50 in a vote to kill the rule when Mike Pence cast the tiebreaker on Tuesday. So they would have let, the rule, had it stood, would have let millions of consumers join in class action lawsuits against banks that obviously took their money during any depression, during any sort of malfeasance, like at Wells Fargo, for instance.
Equifax is running a commercial right now on television saying, "Let us help protect your information. Sign up."
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's
when they've compromised millions of people's personal information over the past 6 months. Now they're saying, sign up with us and we'll help protect and give you warnings if your Social Security number gets used by anybody that it shouldn't.
Well, this not being able to sue is the basic right in the Constitution. It's the only way.
You should be able to sue anybody for anything, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. I mean, it's terrific for the trial lawyers. However, in this particular action, who are they really protecting? The banks? I mean, the banks who have the largest profit margins ever and who caused the worst catastrophe in 2007 of the country's history?
Yeah, the government bails them out and then
protects them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this vote, and coupled with the other one that I was talking about, is just two of the things that I think are absolutely ridiculous when it comes to what government does and why they protect who they protect, when really Joe Q. Public, what do they have and who do they have to protect them?
It's supposed to be us.
Yeah, it is supposed to be us, but it's not about us, and it's not for us. Okay, so how much time we got left, Daryl?
However long you would like.
Oh, isn't that nice? No commercial breaks.
I'd say wrap it up in the next 2 minutes.
Okay, very good. So let's get through a couple of things here. There are 6 things that I wanted to discuss, and I want to bring Daryl in here just to ask him, what are some of the career terrible no-nos when you're in an interview? What are the 6 things that they say on this particular list that you should never do when you are interviewing for a job?
Bag on your last employer.
Okay, let's see. That is number 5. Number 5 on the list. It says bad-mouthing your previous boss. Never say negative. Now, I know that's a double negative myself, but never say negative, and you'll be in much better shape. Give us another one, Daryl. What do you think?
Try to pre-negotiate your salary before you find out what the job responsibilities are.
You know what? I like that one. It's not on the list, but it does say being stubborn about your salary, so that's kind of what you're talking about.
You have to be somewhat negotiable. Yeah.
It says here you will be asked about your salary expectations. So before you fill out the application, you need to research salaries, find out what they are.
Yeah, you
really
just can't write down negotiable, because that doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't mean anything, and it tells your boss that really you're a wimp and you really don't know what you want. And of course you're doing it because you don't know they may offer you more than you put down.
Right, you need to stand up for what you believe the job is worth.
Exactly right. Okay. Do not critique or criticize the job description. Now, a lot of this happens, right? My son is a perfect example, Harrison. Sorry, Harrison, I have to bust you here. He'd go on an interview and discuss why the interview shouldn't be the way it is because it's just not what the actual job description should be. Now, what do you think your chances of landing that one?
Right, and don't criticize the firm for the way they're doing business and tell them all the changes you'd make when and if you took the position immediately.
Exactly. That's a good one. Okay, reneging on a job offer. I had a niece who just did this.
Oh, playing one against the other. That's never very good.
Never very good. I mean, we in the lending business used to do something called double app. Well, they don't do that anymore, right? Where you'd apply to two different lenders at the same time, see who got it quicker, see who got it less.
Not good.
No, not good.
You can do it, but don't tell the other one.
Well, in this particular thing, what happened is with my niece, she got a job offer, accepted the job offer, got another job offer, went back to the first one and said, sorry, I got more money, 12%.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
That's
really
a bad idea and a bad no-yo.
And I've hired over 100 people over my career. And
well, what's your
that's always
experience
bad.
with the hiring process? Because I know a lot of people out there are looking to get hired right now. So,
well, I mean, come in, be open, be honest, be negotiable, and put your best foot forward. There were a couple of people that didn't interview so well, you know, and I went back to them and said, and talked to if they were represented by an agency. I said they just didn't have the energy I was looking for, or whatever, and I let them come back again and try again.
oh, see, that's very reasonable. I don't think most people would do that. Although the headhunter people and the recruiters, yeah, they will. They'll try to get you up to speed because they don't get paid unless you get placed.
And do read the job description and do try to meet the minimum qualifications, or if you don't, have a reason why not.
Absolutely. Number one on the list, of course, is a last-minute cancellation. Hello.
Oh, bad news. Or say, being half an hour late.
Yeah, oh, exactly.
Or an hour late.
Traffic. If I heard traffic one more time from a meeting, I've had clients that would be late, and I would just say, hey, we got to reschedule.
Yeah. I've got there 45 minutes early and driven around the block a while.
Yes, exactly right. Hey, Daryl, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the show. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
I love her. Yet, she defies me. Speak to me, Elohim. These are the words of your king. Makeda, bring forth our son. Set him upon the throne that is his own by blood. He shall rule by the sword, as my father David. Do this, and your treason will be forgiven. Do this, or be haunted by God and man alike.
This is a story many of us has heard before, only this time King Solomon is a character in a story that focuses on Menelik, his now adult son, raised in the land of Sheba. The grandson of one of the greatest warrior kings in the long history of Judaism is lost to a land where there are no kings, no armies, no religion, and no currency at all. His mother is the single matriarch that governs and protects herself and her people, and most of all her son, using a few well-placed warriors and sorcerers. This is an epic love story presented with a sort of poetic ambiance.
You are no flower. Yes, like a flower, men will rip off your pretty petals. You will wither and grow old. A flower will bloom many times, but you will never be young again.
If you refuse to strike first, you may delay an inevitable war. Though I fear, if we wait and react to their aggressions, we may find ourselves plucking their arrows from the hearts of the ones we love most.
In 950 BC, clouds of war moved on Sheba. Beneath it, an army marched. Al-Kebulon was their home. She was the oasis at the center of the harsh desert. A nation unperverted by those who marched on her. There, a man lived for Al-Kebulon and all her pleasures. Love, lust, spear or spirit.
I will forever live for you.
Kings knew not the powers of their spirits, yet rumors and tales are how we now call them. Finally, their half will be told.
الشخص الذي يعرف نفسه ويعرف لمرعة أخرى.
Angel of the monsoon, show them the harvest of the sands and the winds. When the sun and the moon stands together, those who knelt and cried to the skies found no refuge. For they harvest the powers of Al-Kebulon, the powers of the earth. Give them the storming sand. If they were not swallowed by the wind or the waters, the Hadean army wore their bones. Ma'at, truth, balance, harmony, and morality. This was their way. For 3 millennia, they knew who they were. This is the story of how things changed.
We took the incredible characters from the historical accounts and gave them credit. The script allows us, for once, to take for granted that Makeda of Sheba did in fact exist in some remote part of Al-Kebulon, where she protected a nation with a population of some 70% women and was able to remain undiscovered for many years, despite being hunted by the most powerful king in the world at this time. However, in that hunt lies the central conflict of Half Untold.
My name is Jeroboam. I am sent by the great King Solomon to return his son, born of Makeda, the Queen of Sheba.
Jeroboam, one of the characters that you'll come to know well, is a pure-hearted man. I think he wants to carry out his orders and be done with his mission. He, in many ways, finds himself in a position that soldiers often find themselves in, carrying out orders that he feels unbiased to, but doing so with good intentions. Thus, he's able to find the land of Sheba, and this becomes immediately clear to the people in Sheba as they are just now discovering where Makeda traveled to all those years ago and who exactly is Menelek's father. This leads to a number of issues that ultimately put Menelek and other lives at risk. In conflict is where we discover the king in Menelek. He was never a big thinker like his father or a schemer like his mother. He loves deeply, yet he's a killer, just as his grandfather was. And his father had the foresight to see that so many years ago.
He shall rule by the sword as my father did.
Faced with this reality, he has to decide if he wants to go to Jerusalem to discover his past or if he wants to stay in Sheba to defend an uncertain future. We can't tell you everything about Half Untold. You'll have to watch. The thing is, there is a real possibility that Half Untold won't get done without the help of people like yourself. People that would love to see an epic fantasy story. There's no reason why we can't finish the project that we've started, but we won't be able to finish if you guys don't join in and help us out. If this sort of thing sits on the shelf for long enough, it'll simply be eaten up by the big companies, as these type of projects normally are. The characters will be changed, the location will be changed, and then you'll see it and you'll say, that looks familiar. This is the sort of project that will inspire imagination amongst all people. We're seeking the funds to continue. Help us shoot 3 additional episodes. We believe with those episodes, we'll gain the popularity and the funding to shoot the entire season. Let's start now.
When I'm thinking about the scale of everything, the opportunity to bring a world to life, helping the viewer forget their reality and believe for a moment the one that they're viewing. Seeing my creations come to life on screen for the first time was probably just a feeling of surreal, just surrealness. It was really hot at the location, so a lot of things on the actors'